I do what I can.
Why is this your favorite part?
Because you the guys are the reason that I want to fight. You're the ones that truly appreciate it, you know? And I'd be doing this in a backyard somewhere with nobody watching, and you guys are the reason why I get to do it in front of an audience and get paid for it.
So how was it tonight?
Oh, it was difficult. I don't know if you saw it, but Bobby is one hell of a fighter. All that charisma, that finesse, that creativity, man, he's so unique. And it was hard to deal with, and people said he was quick, and he was, in fact.
Was there anything that surprised you about him?
All of it. Yeah, how fast he was, how fluid he was. Man, he was really hard to hit. Like, he was able to shoulder roll, and man, that talking it definitely kind of bothers you a bit. You're like, I can't run my mouth as well as he can, but man, it was truly something special, and everything that I looked forward to.
What was he saying? Because we couldn't hear it. We had it off because we had somebody back here. So
he was talking trash to like every move that I did. Like, I'd try to hit him in the body. Like, nope, that was my arm. You missed. And then he'd like comment to my coaches. He was like, nah, he can't do that. He can't do that. And then like he was just running his mouth the entire time. Just various comments on everything.
And I noticed afterwards you guys were laughing and hugging. So there's no bad blood or anything between you guys after this?
No. We've been super nice to each other every time I ran into each other. And, man, we've been talking about this fight for a little while now. And our schedules just didn't seem to add up. But we knew we were going to fight each other eventually. And I've been a fan of his way back when. And so this was actually a long time coming and a true honor to be able to compete with him.
Do you prefer to have a fight like that where you have a relationship with them a little bit, or would you prefer going in and either hating them or not knowing them at all?
No, I think we talked about this before my fight. Is the fact that, man, when you hate somebody, you're afraid to lose to that person, so you fight not to lose. But when you enjoy the person, you can respect the person, you can open up and be creative, and that's when like fun fights happen. Man, the best fights I've ever seen were two friends trying to fight each other, and so I think more respect and it's going to lead into more fantastic fights.
What did your corner say to you between round 1 and 2?
Oh, they told me a lot. Don't get hit. Do less losing and more winning. To control the octagon. We were trying not to headhunt. I got a little mixed up in it, whether it was Bobby's words or whatnot. But we had to pull things back up a bit, control the octagon, use some footwork, and try to set a game up versus just trying to run in head first.
Where would you rank this win?
Man, every single win, every single fight is like a little baby, a little story. You know, all these little nuances of the 8 weeks of training and then this and that. Man, I can't place it, in the rankings as far as all my fights. I think that's for everyone else. Like, what is the ranking that you have it at? But I think a knockout win with Bobby Green is something special. But it's in the long line of many special moments in this career.
And again, we had it on mute, so I don't know if you called someone out, but do you have a name of somebody you'd like to fight or a place?
Yeah, I think I dropped the name Jalin Turner. It's just the first name that comes to my head. I get asked the question, like, who do you want to fight? And I just try to come up with an answer for you guys. But honestly, if I took out that list, it would hit the floor. I'd fight anyone. Like, if Jalin Turner doesn't want to fight, Michael Johnson is an unranked fighter. It would be a super fun fight. And there's guys with a special grappling and wrestling abilities that I'd like to test myself against. I'm not picky. I said yes to about 5 fights before Bobby Green agreed. So who do I want to fight? All of them.
Why Jalin?
I don't know, because he beat Brad Riddell, and Brad Riddell beat me, and so I want to avenge that through the transitive property, you know? Yeah, so, and then he's ranked 10, and man, 6'3" is a problem. So, like I said, man, Bobby Green was, running his mouth, being creative. I like interesting problems, and 6'3" is one of them.
What's your goal for 2023?
More wins, more knockouts, more entertaining, more opportunities in front of you guys. Just more. I'm not satisfied.
Drew, Jalin Turner said on Twitter that he already made the call and he's ready to fight. So, with that being said, when's a perfect kind of turnaround? When would you like to get in the cage again?
I mean, I think we're looking at trying to fight in April. I'd like to get another one before my baby comes out. So, yeah, April's a good time. Twitter is not a contract. I see people blowing smoke over Twitter all the time, but it doesn't mean anything until that paperwork's in front of you. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this moment. If he wants to fight, we'll talk about it.
Speaking of that, is Daddy Drew going to be a problem in 2023?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem, right? I'm no longer feeding myself. So this daddy strength is going to be in the right hand, I'm assuming. So we're going to have both left and right going.
So you and Bobby, you called him out all year. Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, absolutely. He's everything I expected and more, and I'm wearing it on my face.
And then 3 fights, 3 finishes this year. Of the 3, which one stands out the most, man? You suffered a lot of adversity, and then that first one, 277, you were back in front of a crowd. This last one is a fight that you really wanted. Like, which one really stands out to you?
I think the Bobby Green win is the most powerful, because I know how talented he is, how experienced, and he's a veteran. I get most notoriety from the Terrence McKinney fight, just because I showed that side of myself, which is something fun. And then Rafael Alves pulled something out of me, like a body shot win is always unique. But I think the win over Bobby Green is probably my favorite this year.
Speaking of that McKinney fight, there was a clip that resurfaced this week of your chin knocking him down when you threw a head kick. So what's up with the Drew Dober chin?
I mean, if headbutts were legal, I'd have way more knockouts. No, I don't know. It was a godsend gift. Could be Neanderthal genetics. I don't know, but that's what I was blessed with, and I'm just very happy that I found this sport, because I couldn't show it off in baseball.
This is true. Congrats, Drew, and happy holidays.
Yeah, Drew, you mentioned about the chin. Do you feel like you're getting that reputation as someone that, hey, you're not going to be able to knock him out?
I'm the real life Rocky Balboa story. Like, we all know what I'm coming in with. Man, I don't like showing it off, but it just, in the UFC lightweight division, you can't help. It's the murderer's row. There's no easy fights.
And Bobby, you said he was talking out there a lot. Did you get any talk? Did you talk some smack back to him?
I tried to. It just didn't come out well as he did. He's so much better at it than I am. So I just decided to put that away. It was like, all right, I can't keep up with that spot.
And what was the mindset like after round 1 to round 2? Did you think that, hey, I'm in trouble here?
Yes, yeah. We lost the first round. I have to go back and look at it, but, the feeling was we lost that first round. And we lost it because he was dictating that dance. He was controlling the emotions inside the octagon, and then along with the footwork and everything else. So, yeah, we sat on that stool in front of my coaches, and we had to figure out an adjustment that we had to make.
And when you landed that punch, did you think that was it immediately? Because when he fell, I thought that maybe you was going to be a little bit more before the stoppage.
Yeah, no, I thought so too. Bobby's tough. I was told, I'm told I hit hard. I'm equally surprised as everyone else when I knock somebody out, because I don't have any expectations. The one time I expected to knock someone out was the Brad Riddell fight, and we all know how that happened. So I just dismiss expectations. I'm just trying to land these hands, and if they fall over, I'm just as surprised.
Thank you, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, Drew, right here.
What's up?
Congrats on your victory, and
Thank
congrats on a 3-fight victory that you don't have this year. Moving forward on this little break, are you going to take the time to reflect on your growth and evolution this year, or are you just looking to get right back to it?
Yeah, I mean, I have things to improve upon. I still have those losses against Beneil and Islam, and we know where those losses lie. So I'm working with a school of mines in Colorado for college wrestling with Elliot Marshall, black belt in jiu-jitsu. So we're probably going to bring in some new weapons next year. And, man, this knockout record's great, but it's not going to define me as a fighter. So we might be chasing necks. Who knows?
When you watch the replay of the fight, I think you'll see Bobby's team sort of yell a little bit when the stoppage happened. Did you feel that he should have been able to take a few more? Are you glad they stopped it because it was just inevitable that he would have just took more damage? Or did you feel that was the stoppage was perfect at the time that it happened?
I think it was perfect. I think he could have continued, right? He could have continued and fought back. But it's something that you feel when you're in the octagon that a lot of people don't see, and it's like that damage, right? And that one punch that dropped him, and then he covered up, and it was the same thing with the McKinney fight. Like, when a fight is over, right? And so he could have kept going, and he could have worked his way back up to the feet, but it was only going to get worse, right? And man, we also have a health to worry about as well.
And it wasn't like he came up to you afterwards and said anything like, that was stopped earlier, I could have took more, or anything along those lines?
No, not at all. He was just obviously disappointed over the loss. I mean, we all are. But no, I think we were all understanding of the stoppage.
Well, what was funny, and like she mentioned, the sound was off, so I was trying to read your lips. When he came over to you, did you tell him he hits hard as fuck?
Hey, he's fast.
Or fast?
Yeah, he's fast. Yeah, it's man, his hands are down, but they can still touch your face, like just quick. And man, you watch film, you hear these stories that like he's hard to hit, he's super quick, and all that stuff. And he jabbers, and man, and yeah, it's. And not until you see it that you can like respect it. And I was like, yeah, his speed is something to be respected.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, when you think that most people, they tell you to always keep your guard up, keep your hands up. How long did it take to sort of adjust to that style with him having the shots coming from his hands being down by his waist?
I don't know, how long was the fight? That's how long it took to adjust.
All the way up to the end, right?
Yeah, it took a while. We had to do a lot of adjustments. But yeah, he had some problems.
And then at the very end, again, this is maybe me putting more words into what I was seeing. At the very end, when it looked like you sort of had like a mission for a message for the division. I thought I heard you saying something like you were coming for number one. I don't know if you said anything like that, or if I was just putting awesome words when I was watching you say it there. But is the performance that you put out there, is that a message to the division that you are trying to come to number one?
Yeah. The comment was the fact that I just tied Dustin Poirier for the most knockouts in the lightweight division, and we're tied at 8, right? And so I'm coming for that number one. I want my 9. And so it's just really exciting to be a part of that record, especially in a division that I think is the most dangerous division in the UFC. And man, it's something I hold dear and I'm very prideful about. And it's just motivation to keep on going.
So is that something that you put extra pressure on yourself, or is that something you just hope it works itself out, that you're not going to try to go into the next fight saying, I need to get this record, I need to get that knockout, or is that just sort of happened because of the way that you fight?
Yeah, it happened because of the way I'm fighting now. Like I said, my last loss came from the fact that I was hunting for a knockout. And unfortunately, it was tunnel vision, it was this, and it was a decision loss. And so now my knockouts, these 3 fights this year, all came from being able to not headhunt, not look at all that stuff. So it's just a good reminder of where I need to be mentally to receive these knockouts. I'm not hunting for them, I'm just gathering them.
And I know it's hard to reflect on the fight because it just happened. You haven't had a chance to go back and watch it. But in the top of your head, when you think about going back into camp and training, what do you need to feel that you need to work on that you maybe learned here in the fight?
Grappling. I don't know. There was moments in that fight, and we're gonna have to watch film on it, to where I started to wrestle and ended up on my back. And so it's very disappointing. Grappling is definitely something I will and need to improve upon, and I have the resources in Colorado, and that's what we're gonna be doing over Christmas.
That's awesome. Well, have a great Christmas.
Thank you.
Just a quick one from me, Drew. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
When you were talking with Kenny, you mentioned adjustments, and right now you talked about head hunting. Can you walk me through that finish? Because it seemed like the shorter shot was what got it done, because you were throwing some big overhand shots.
Yeah. So it all comes from the feet, right? So the footwork and being able to control that octagon, right? And then, of course, that power punch, right? This isn't T-ball. That ball isn't just hanging out in front of me for her to whack at it. It's not a piñata. So you have to find the chin first, and you can't find it by swinging bombs. So the adjustment we had to make was creativity, setting it up, and then finding the chin before we try to knock that chin off. And there was a moment where I had him back up against the fence. I was able to find his, just being able to touch his body, touch his, and then once I had that position, I had to take that chance, and we found the mark.
Absolutely. And just out of curiosity, what was the game plan compared to what you actually saw? Because once he set up those traps and baited you when to come in to counter you, I was like, okay, there's no way he can't talk to that corner and say, we gotta tweak some things here ASAP.
Yeah, the game plan was the leg kicks, the body shots, the level changes, the threat, other things other than boxing the chin, right? And then eventually we're going to find it in the later rounds, but we got to start low and work our way up. And unfortunately, I got a little headhunty in the first round.
Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.